question, not to answer any of the questions if it makes you feel uncomfortable, please.
My name is Pa An. I'm originally from the Gambia, West Africa. I emigrated to the United States in about 16 years ago. I'm a single parent with 3 boys, 16, 14, and 8. And I'm currently working with the City of Brooklyn Park with their Community Development Department. I speak obviously English, French, some French. I also speak local dialects, Mandingo, Wolof, and some Fulani. Gambia is a former British colony, had our independence in 1965. So English is our official language. I was born in the capital, Banjul, and later on my parents moved to the suburbs called Dipakunda. The neighborhood is mostly, it's very difficult to compare it to what you understand here by middle class and upper class and lower class. I think everybody was almost at the same level, even though people had different levels of financial earning, and most of the people work with the government. The majority of Gambians are farmers, not in the way you understand it, subsistence farmers working to earn a living, and if there is a little bit left over, they sell it for cash. That's what mainly the people, Gambians living in rural areas do. I presently live in Brooklyn Park. My kids move back and forth between me and their mom. They are currently with me this week. So their mom lives in Maple Grove, but it's a neighboring city. It's less than 10 minutes drive from one to the other. I was brought up, I am, Anne is a Fula by tribe, particularly under the subcategory called Tukulor, Tukulor, Tukulor. We came from northern Nigeria, Senegal. We are mostly cattle herders, but very highly educated. We used to be very nomadic, very mobile. But my great-grandfather's 3 brothers migrated down south to Gambia and settled there. And as a result, being a Gambian. But you have to recall that before the colonial period, that area was almost one. There are subgroups of kingdoms, but there were no borders as you know it today, and that's critical in my answer. Yes, all my kids were born here. From 2000, Alassane, the oldest, is 16, just turned 16 last month. He's in 10th grade. And then Brahima is 14. He just went to the 9th grade. And Babu, the last one, or Babukar, sometimes it's called Abubakar. He will be 8 in November. He's in second grade. That's a very good question. As a matter of fact, sometimes I don't even know how to react to a certain value system. In fact, I think you asked about this before. Our values mainly, before going to the question, I don't think I answered it quite well the last time, is hard work, honesty, community, helping each other out all the time. And that was how I was brought up, and respect for everyone, especially elders. I'm a Muslim, and that is the very strong background of that, enshrined in our book, the Holy Quran. So our cultural, our virtues or values emanate from those very etiquettes that are enshrined and expected of us as Muslims. So tradition here, culture also directly links to religion, because it's a way of life. So I don't have one answer to that question. What we do normally is, this is my saying, I keep the values for me that work and that excel, and most of the time the values I have worked. I adopt whatever value from my environment, present environment, that would be that would add value to me, added value to me. So I walk around looking for and looking at things that would add value to where I am or what I want to do. And that is the approach I also take towards my kids. We have a traditional way of bringing up kids, and basically it's rest on community. As the saying goes, and it is true how I was brought up. It takes a village to bring up a child. It's not just a slave chick saying, no, it is true. Your uncles, your aunts, your neighbors are the ones who will exercise authority over you as a child as you run around the village or the city or the town doing things. For me, that doesn't exist here. So here, you are sole authority apart from the school to doing things that you expect to do, apart from the school system. So what I do is adapt to these things and see what works for them. Working with their mother sometimes, because both of us have a responsibility towards them. Take what we have from our values from home and then adopt whatever values work here. So embracing the things, especially the basic tenets of being an American. It's a universal virtue to be all what you can be. So really, it's nothing contrary to the values I had coming from the Gambia.
Or it could just be sort of things that they taught you. You sort of answered that indirectly, but if you can remember any specific ones.
Don't talk when I'm talking. Don't look in my eye. Those are two basic ones. You don't look at elders when they're talking to you. You don't talk back, even if you think they are wrong. So I developed that. I had a special relationship with my dad. So we were friends too, as parent and friend. So I always call back. I was the kind of standout in my family who was very outspoken. At the beginning, I used to do it wrongly, Then later on, I adopted a system of seeing my dad in the corner and then talk to him as a friend about the issue that we talked about before. And he will be more open to a discussion than while it was happening at the time. So I developed that adopted strategy so that things work out and he also respects that about me. So those are the two that stand out. You don't talk back to an elder, especially your parents, and you don't look in their eyes when they are talking to you. Yes, but it's more subtle. Women do express their feelings if they like someone. It's not just overt like you have in the Western culture. So it's done in depending on the personality of that particular woman or girl. They will show how, that they like it. They like you, and maybe you'll pick on that and run away with it if you like her back. So yes, women can do that. Women can do that. And they are frowned upon. Um, it's not normal. They don't expect you to grow up and then hold hands with young women up and down the streets. So that's not acceptable. So as young men, you develop your own skill sets and strategy to develop your own relationship. But the ultimate goal is to get married because it's frowned upon and against our tradition to have girlfriends. So that's not normal, even though that experience is changing now. I was an army officer and I retired as a lieutenant colonel. I was deployed to Liberia during their civil war, and one of my deployments in 1993, I met her. That's how we met, and got married 97, 5 years, 4 years later. It was traditional. Normally in our culture, especially the Muslim culture, the elders of the groom goes to the family of the bride and asks her hand in marriage. And there are some rituals that that they have to go over, some verses that they have to read to consummate the marriage. There is a number of witnesses that needs to be present for the marriage to be acceptable religiously. Nowadays, you have the paper trail also back home after the marriage is certified by the Qadi, and there is a Islamic Council that does that. There is a legal route too that you can follow to certify your marriage. So because he was here going to school at the time, we had to do it in Guinea because that was the original home of paternal side. They had moved over back in Guinea because of the war, and as a result of that, I had to send my uncles to Guinea to ask her hand in marriage. And then when she came over to Gambia after the marriage, the whole tradition of dressing her up and the ritual of drumming, dancing, mostly for women, cooking and celebrating was done.
home, it's very defined, but even now it's shifting depending on who is doing what. Mainly back home, the man is expected to go work and be the breadwinner and bring the money and food home. So the woman holds the fort or the household, take care of the kids and all that. But even back home, you have partners, couples that both work. And even that relationship has shifted there. And when we came here, there was a line, but not on those strictly traditional lines. I had babysat my kids, very involved in their lives growing up, and that's key. My ex-wife kept the other aspect of the tradition, which is, cooking and all that. I help out here and there, but mainly she played that role. I saw it being blurred, helping out and each of us doing what you can to keep the family going at the time. And that's very different now. I think most immigrant couples face that challenge when they come here, especially people beginning to realize some financial independence. Sometimes it brings about tension in the house of who should do what or who should be what. And those experiences, unfortunately, sometimes end up breaking the family apart. Back home, not common, but it happens because it's the last resort. Back home, the elders and the community, especially the elders from both families, form the basis or the foundation for counseling the couple, for them to adopt a better conciliatory approach towards each other. So that is still there. Added to the challenges I talked about before, when couples come here, you are struggling to survive, you're struggling to adapt to your new environment, you're struggling to make ends meet and have a livelihood, or maybe going to school, and then you have young kids. So that communal support is absent in our new environment. And I think that adds to the tension that the tension that already exists within the couple and the household and the whole community, because it's very hard for people to support each other, and then the expectation is different. So as a result of that, I think I don't have the statistics, but I believe that from anecdotal stories, divorce rates in immigrant communities is a little bit higher than even the national average because of some of the factors I just mentioned.